Okay, just an update on a few stocks. So in a previous video, I mentioned NextEra Energy Partners and their name changed to XPLR Infrastructure, ticker symbol XIFR. And I believe when I bought it, it was like 12, and then I kept buying it down to 10 and eventually got down to 8. And somebody had questions in the comments about like, would you buy more? Like, what's your thoughts on it? And I said, it's whether you bought it at 12 or 10 or 8, it's going to affect what the ultimate return is, but you want to be directionally right. So with this, if you'll recall, it got really decimated from 26 down to uh, eventually $7.50 because it did have a very high dividend, and they cut the dividend, this is wrong, to 0 to be able to pay off their debt because they had this type of financing called convertible equity portfolio something, which the people who bought it could either get shares or cash, and the price was so low for the shares that it didn't make sense to give them the shares, and it didn't make sense to pay them cash because they needed the cash, and so they cut the dividend to 0, and then the price tanked. And I said, well, they've got a couple of years to raise enough cash to pay these off with cash instead of shares. I think it'll bounce back. And by not paying the dividend, they're able to build up cash in their balance sheet. But they also did something which I mentioned. They have some pipelines, and I said if they can sell them at a good price, that that would make it more likely for them to be able to pay that down without issuing any shares. And as you can see, in the past few days, it went up about 15% because they announced that some of their pipelines, they found a buyer for about, I think it was 900 million. And so it came back. So I did sell the common I had at about the price I bought for just buy other things, but I kept the options that I had on it. And just so you see that I'm completely not full of crap. Uh, so here's the options that I had expiring in 2026 to 2027. And out of these, 2 are in the money now and 2 are not in the money yet. And a few thousand in options. But, as I said, I've got till 2026 or 2027 for it to pay off. And I think it's moving in the right direction. So I'll be holding on to that. And I will do a separate video on PayPal and Crocs. So I had mentioned Crocs a few times in other videos in passing, and I said it was kind of a trading sardine that I would buy it around 100 and sell it back at like 105 or 106, and it just kept bouncing around between those prices, but eventually it dropped down a lot, and I bought a lot more shares. I think it got down to like $77, and I'll do a separate video on that. But anyway, just an update on NextEra Energy Partners, now called XPLR or Explore. Have a great day, everyone. And remember, not investment advice, just me walking through my process. Have a great day.